Hello, my name is Evan Kaplan, and today I will be discussing rhythmic auditory stimulation therapy for gait deficits of Parkinson's disease dementia. There is an epidemic on its way to threaten nearly 1 in 5 of the increasingly vast population of people over the age of 65. This is a neurodegenerative disease, where a progressive and irreversible death of neurons known as Parkinson's disease, whose crippling motor impairments are directly connected to premature dependence on walkers and wheelchairs. Parkinson's disease largely affects movement, its primary symptoms being gait instability, bradykinesia, tremors, and rigidity, according to Steiger and others in 2019. The primary affected area of the brain is the substantia nigra of the basal ganglia, which is a crucial region for the production of dopamine and the interactions between the auditory and motor systems of the body. The motor symptoms result from a lack of dopamine reward transmission and an impaired communication between the brain and the body, according to Steiger and others. The majority of cases are treated with dopaminergic medications such as levodopa, and these drugs are effective in the improvement of some cognitive symptoms, but impaired brain-body communication and motor deficits often persist, which is why levodopa is often combined with methods such as physical therapy to create a beneficial combination of physical and mental benefits. According to Brancatisano and others in 2020, music has the capacity to augment neuroplasticity, which allows the brain to compensate for impairments by rewiring to recruit alternative pathways and structures to perform the same tasks. Music therapy has been explored for Parkinson's disease because it can enhance the functioning of the basal ganglia, facilitating heightened secretion of dopamine and reward synchronization. Music therapy has also been shown to increase the connectivity in neural pathways that control motor functions, according to Pantelai and others in 2022. In the process of rhythmic auditory stimulation, Parkinson's patients train by synchronizing their footsteps to a constant and rhythmic musical beat, often accentuated by the pulse of a metronome. It begins with patients comfortable with baseline speed and is gradually sped up, often at 5% speed at a time, and it is well established for improving gait abnormalities such as in cadence, swing time, and velocity. The two most common forms of demented Parkinson's disease are Parkinson's disease dementia and dementia with Lewy bodies, and generally these are considered different phenotypic expressions of the same underlying process. According to Gompertz and others, demented Parkinson's is caused by the aggregation of proteins in the brain and results in an increased dopamine impairments and the exacerbation of symptoms like executive functioning deficits. Instrumental to my research is a short-term and low sample size exploration of rhythmic auditory stimulation for various forms of atypical Parkinsonism by Pantelai and others in 2020, during which dementia with Lewy bodies was included in the many diseases treated with RAS. And although it is a very short-term and low sample size study, it does offer some promising results that encourage further exploration of new pathologies of Parkinson's disease. Dementia in Parkinson's disease is extremely common, with prevalence rates as high as 78%, and given the projected increase of 312,000 to 810,000, approximately a tripling by 2060, it seems instrumental to explore the various therapies on Parkinson's patients with dementia. The first objective of my study is to determine whether rhythmic auditory stimulation for Parkinson's disease dementia will follow the same short-term pattern as dementia with Lewy bodies, and I predict that there will be no improvements in any gait parameters, or there will be a slight decline for Parkinson's disease dementia patients after the first day of RAS. My second objective is to determine whether a long-term application of RAS for Parkinson's disease dementia will improve the parameters over 2 months. And I hypothesize first that after 1 month there will be a marginal improvement, and that after the second month these will continue or stagnate very slightly after 2 months. The third objective of my study is to determine the rate at which benefits are lost over a 1 month period, and I hypothesize that after 1 month, the loss of benefits will begin somewhat linear but will have stagnated to the point where long-term benefits are still maintained for a great period. The ideal sample size for the study is 30 participants who are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease dementia according to the most recently published criteria. And criteria for inclusion involves elements such as slowed velocity and cadence during physical testing, and the absence of additional dementias, as well as the capacity to safely walk a straight path for 2 minutes. In the process of rhythmic auditory stimulation, in order to assess a baseline cadence, They will be instructed to walk on a straight and very clearly defined path for a period of 2 minutes, during which cadence will be calculated by dividing the number of steps by the amount of minutes walked, and velocity will be calculated by dividing the distance traveled by the number of minutes. Then, after a 5 minutes break, the participants will walk the same path with headphones playing a 4/4 metronomic pulse with a cadence 5% faster than each participant's baseline cadence. And this process will be repeated with another 5% speed increment added after a 5-minute break. And after each day, once again, cadence and velocity will be reassessed. The data collected during the study will be organized such that the cadence and velocity of pre- and post-RAS groups will be compared. A slight decline in both velocity and cadence is expected after 1 day of RAS, with a statistically significant p-value being expected for cadence, but a greater than 0.1 value being expected for velocity simply due to the more volatile nature due to the variety of sizes found in the participants. The precedent for this change is found in the study by Panteley in 2022, during which there was a pattern of slight decline in cadence for dementia with Lewy bodies, whereas velocity was a bit more varied, but still, as you can see, there is a clear visual pattern of slight decline here. After a period of 1 month of treatment, there will be a slight to reasonably significant increase in both cadence and velocity, the precedent for which, again, can be found in the study by Panteley in 2022, during which there was a slight decline in the velocity parameter during RAS, but then a slight improvement 1 day post. So this is the same concept, just on a wider scale over 1 month, and as a result, the benefits are expected to be greater. After a period of 2 months, a significant value of p is less than 0.1 will be found for a slight continued improvements in cadence and velocity. The 0.1 parameter was selected because it is well known and established that in 2 months there is a mixture of continued improvements and stagnations, and as a result it is expected that the deviation will be slightly higher. However, based on the 0.1 alpha level, there is a significant change here. And the precedent for this development is found in the study by Devlin and others in 2019, where rhythmic auditory stimulation for idiopathic Parkinson's resulted in improvements for up to 2 months. And given the fact that the further impairments of Parkinson's disease or dementia are relegated largely to executive functioning, it's likely that similar results will be found. Finally, in the difference in velocity and cadence between pre-RAS and after 2 months, a clear pattern of reasonably linear decline in the beginning, as followed by stagnation, is noted, with significant R-squared values for both parameters, precedent for which is found in Devlin and others' study in 2019, during which very marginal declines were found after approximately 4 weeks of testing post-RAS. There are some limitations to the study, including time, as the 2-month period could result in an increased decline in motor function for the participants. In addition, it's likely that a small number of participants would be capable or willing to participate in a study of this nature with this specific modality of Parkinson's disease. However, if the indicated expected results are found from a long-term study of RAS on Parkinson's disease dementia, the immediate potential of applying such treatment for the improvement of cadence and velocity parameters in Parkinson's disease dementia is clear. In addition, a precedent for improvements beyond an increase in cadence and velocity could be established, allowing issues such as stride length, swing time, and freezing of gait to be potentially addressed via RAS. Ultimately, clinical explorations such as these contribute to the gradual improvement through very specific aspects of physical health in the quality of life of every aspect for Parkinson's disease patients worldwide, now and in the future. I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Joseph DeBello and Mr. Alex Lee. These are my references, and that concludes my presentation.